Looks like we're live on Zoom, and it says live in 4 minutes. That can't even be right. Although, for whatever the reason, okay, now it says, it's still saying, okay, so my name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. But the weirdest thing, and it's now live on my phone. But at first, it was saying that I wouldn't be live for 4 more minutes. And I was clearly live in Zoom. So I don't know why such a delay. Okay, so today is Tuesday, March the 4th, 2025. And all I know to say is, wow. I said yesterday in my live that I felt something shifted Sunday night in the energies. And I all I can do is share what I feel is going on and how it affects me. But I do really feel like I was smack on about it, especially for myself. It started for me last week when I noticed that we had a blast from the sun, and it was affecting the Earth's electromagnetic field. As I shared with you guys way back in 2013, 2014, I started keeping the pain journal because I was trying to understand why my physical body was in so much pain. This is before I even started on my metaphysical journey. I was on my physical journey of taking my health back into my own hands. And as my mind was getting clearer, I was beginning to see some things about how I was actually making myself sicker than I needed to be by the foods I was eating, the fact that I wasn't, hydrated and all that sort of thing. And that's when I noticed the correlation for me personally between the earth and the sun. Oh my, the bodacious Bodak is putting in an appearance. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised at that after we had Luathas the Wild come out yesterday. I'm feeling to pull from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle today for some reason too, so we're going to do that. But at any rate, when it started last week, it was only intermittent for me with um, shortness of breath, heart palpitations, just things like that. It was only intermittent, and I noticed that it was around the noon area after my lives to about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, right? And of course, it was zapping my energy. So by the time, 8, 9 o'clock rolled around, I'm falling asleep in my chair, uh, you know, uh, instead of going to bed, which I then would do. But now, wow, ever since I shared with you yesterday that I felt another shift in the energies on Sunday night, things really have seemed to, and I've noticed too that I belong to the Schumann Resonance Facebook group. That the Schumann Resonance meters that record the Schumann resonance, and I won't pretend to understand what it is I'm seeing. And I don't know if some of the other folks in that group are just more learned or whatever, but it would seem that it does appear that there is something going on resonance wise with the earth. And in checking in with some of the more intuitive personalities out there. Not that I know any of them personally because I don't, but just seeing what they're writing about, there seems to be quite a bit. And also, I'm having reported to me both by team members. I heard from Crystal this morning. I checked in with her to see how she's been faring. And while she physically feels a bit better, she too has been having some very interestingly odd dreams. And so, I really am uh, desirous of having conversations with anyone who is experiencing dreams that seem multidimensional in nature. Um, I don't have a lot of dream activity myself that I recall, but I have had a couple of instances since all of this started for me last Monday, a week ago yesterday, um, that I do have recall of. And so, if you have been having dreams and you are interested in getting together and having a conversation just to share, I'm convinced myself. That's why I created a segment called Dreamspace when Conscious Conversation Central was still around, because I think our dreams are not just our psyches working out things. Yes, I do feel like that could have some to do with it. Yes, I absolutely do. I, I also, though, have suspected for quite some time that it's much more than that. The vessel, this vessel is what requires rest. The energy, the life force that lives within this vessel does not require rest and sleep. And so I have had dreams where I just know with all of me, it was not me working out a psyche. It was me in another instance, doing things in another realm, sometimes in a completely different body. I only know that because I caught a glimpse of myself once in a car window, and it felt like me, but it was not me. What I saw in that car window was not that which I would call Sheila. It was male, first of all. And I mean, I recognized all the other beings that I was with as being somebody other than who they were in the dream. Ah, surrender to setting limits and surrender to receiving support and love. Wow. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. That is true, you know. Um, it's something that early on I absolutely you know I that's really hard for some of us, myself included. Surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. Now, the truth is, I have more trouble with this than I would care to admit. Yep, I I can see very clearly for myself where There's been times, and I'm thinking of a couple in particular where I would just nope, 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 nope. I've got it. No, no, never mind. I can handle it. I don't need your help. I'll do it all myself. That kind of thing. So this is good advice. Both of these actually are good advice for me personally. Okay. So now, which is it today? Is it to be Rumi or is it to be Journey of Love? Rumi. Has to be Rumi. I'm not surprised though. In these moments of now, Rumi feels like the best balm for my soul. So, at any rate, I would love to hear from you, you guys out there, whether it be about a dream you've had recently or, anything really. Put it in the comments. What are your feelings about what's going on right now on the planet? Um, you know, let's get some interaction going here, you know. I miss that. I am missing conscious conversations. And if you just don't feel like you're in a position to want to be on camera and share with the world your feelings and thoughts, I get it. You know, I used to be a real stickler for that because I feel like it can be so helpful to others to see adults having conversations about the weird and wild sort of goings on that we witness. But especially in these moments of now when folks are moving through some really hard things in their own personal situations. I get it if that's not something that you're looking to do, but would also like to talk with somebody else that wouldn't think you're crazy or whatever. Do reach out either through my email, which is consciousconversationcentral@gmail.com, or reach out to me via private message, messenger, or even X. I do have an X account. It's at fractals of one. It used to, and it says Conscious Conversation Central up there, but somehow or another I got locked out of my Conscious Conversation Central account. And so I couldn't figure out how to get back into it. But if you send a direct message that way or through Messenger, I'm happy to. Wow, we had four drop out of there of the elementals deck. That's very interesting. And I'm going to take all four of them. So why not? Because boy, I tell you, it's the energies call for all kinds of stuff. Oh, wow. This is still a new deck to me. Oh, and those actually look very similar to each other. This one says wisdom. This one, the reason I said they look very similar, fire, candle, earth. Oh, wow. Also, fire, candle, star came out, and sky, wind, sun. And they actually are demanding to be read first and in order. So that's different. Okay. So let us see. Wisdom, page 103. It's 103, which is a 4 numerologically, but the number on the card is 83, which is an 11. So a master number and foundation. Very interesting. Okay. The wisdom card asks us to move beyond the linear thread of logical thinking handed down to us by our parents, our schools, our media, and our society. It speaks to an infinite expanse of knowledge that exists beyond our indoctrination, a holistic intelligence that incorporates intuition, emotion, empathy, experience, and spiritual understanding. Wisdom is about being able to sense beyond the surface of what is being presented or offered, to perceive information multidimensionally. Wow. What did I just say about the whole multidimensionality of the dreams that I sense folks are experiencing? When this card appears, you know the spirits are talking about your journey along this path and are inviting you to gather and cultivate tools. What did I say? I just said I'm missing having those conversations. That's gathering. Wow. the sp- when this card appears, you know the spirits are talking about your journey along this path and are inviting you to gather and cultivate tools that will allow you to sense information from a more expanded perspective. Such tools will help you know where and how to insert this information back into society and into the minds of others at just the right time so that they too can tap into the magic and wisdom of themselves, which is exactly why I have felt for some time that having conversations, conscious conversations, publicly like this is helpful. I just had a conversation with a loved one this morning where it was made very clear to me. And as I already knew, but hearing it come from that loved one was important for me to hear as well. It is up to us to hold that space non judgmentally and to be there and to have those open, honest, authentic conversations and show others that A, they can be had and they are valuable. And quite frankly, in my opinion, most necessary. It's just finding those who are also desirous of doing that. And that's really why I originally created Conscious Conversation Central, because I was then and I am still interested and very desirous of having conscious conversations. Um, and those around me are not prepared to do that in these moments of now. And so I have no recourse other than this. And so if you're sitting there thinking, oh, she doesn't want to hear from me, what do I have to offer? I don't have anything to offer. Oh, yes, you do. If you have a desire to have these sorts of conversations, let me hear from you. Wow, I am just I know I shouldn't be in these moments of now blown away by these sorts of things when they happen, but I still am. I really am, and I just love the fact when it happens like that. Okay, so fire, candle, earth. The card itself is 20. So that is numerologically a 2. And the actual page that it's on is 32, and that's a number that means a lot to Crystal, my teammate here at New Light Streaming Love. And that is a 5 numerologically, which for me is a number all about change. All about change. Okay, so this card, Fire, Candle, Earth. The flame from one candle can be used to light 100 more. This is how a single light illuminates many. Do you see where I'm going with this, dear one? In order to create the change that this world is calling for, it is time for you to shine brightly and to share your light and to ignite the flame of awakening in others. You, yes, you are a leader born from the flame of truth and forged with the courage and the strength. Wow, this makes me want to cry. To do what you came to this planet to do. Live giant. Light the flames of others and be the lit leader of legacy. The time is now, love. And yes, I get it. This is absolutely to me, yes, but it's not just me. Understand that. This is for all of us. Any who desire to see, sense, feel what has been termed the new earth, to live in a more open, authentic way. Well, the time is now to step up and to not be concerned with, oh, I don't look good on camera or whatever that is. That's a lot for a lot of folks, I got to be honest. But trust me, I'm 63 years old, and I've always been. My sister has always said that I'm very photogenic. I look real cute on camera, but when I'm when I'm looking in the mirror, it's nothing like what you see here. So, it doesn't matter. What actually matters is the conversations themselves, the information, the illumination that comes from within, right? That, at least, again, that's the way I feel about it. So the next one was Fire, Candle, Star. Ooh, and that too, it's a 31. So that is a foundation. It's a 4 numerologically. And the card number itself, what did I say? 31. Yeah, 31. And the card number itself is 19. So let's go to page 31 here. And again, for me, I see a lot of portal energy in these cards here, right? There's a lot of portal energy in these cards. There is in this one too, the next one that's coming up. Okay, so creativity exists in the realm of the unknown, and the unknown is a realm of darkness as well as of great mystery. Do not be afraid of the dark, my child. The darkness has secrets to share, and paths to illuminate, and treasures to gift you. When night falls and the world stills, your mind quiets. It is time for you to awaken and to embark upon a journey of discovery. The darkness is beckoning you. There you will tap into new knowledge and undiscovered creativity. There, in the still of the night, you will find magic waiting for you. Be brave, love. Be bold. Trust that the spirits are holding you because they are. Wow. The truth of the matter is that uh, the most that I think we fear is the unknown. And but the truth of that is it's a lie to think that that because even this realm, even the one we're in, is sort of got an awful lot of unknowns to it. Um, we act as though we've figured it all out in this realm. There's a lot of folks who will portray themselves as having knowledge of things, and quite frankly, I'm not saying that they don't have some, but again, from my own experience, it's the interpretation that comes through the experiential filter, and that experiential filter can also be wrong. I mean, can let's put it this way. My guidance wasn't wrong when I was told that Corona would go viral. I interpreted that to mean me because I was just starting my YouTube channel. I was not afraid to use my real name. And, like I've said before, shared before, I even went so far as to tell my soon to be ex at that time and my grown son that, hey, do you want me to change my name? And they laughed at me and said no, because I could get it if they didn't want to be associated with me because neither one of them, well, they both thought I'd gone off the deep end. And quite frankly, I think they probably both still do. Um, but in truth, it wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. That was in 2017, and no one can argue that Corona didn't go viral just 3 years later. So, and actually, it was just 2.5 years later. So it wasn't wrong. It was my interpretation that was wrong. So this one is sky, wind, sun. Sky, wind, sun. It is numerologically an eight. And, but the card number is 46. So that is one, which is the I am numerologically. And eight for me has always been uh, not just manifestation, but materialization. Is I also feel that we create our own reality. And so, as such, we will eventually be able to not just manifest, but materialize things, ourselves, in some very real ways, I feel. Again, that is my interpretation of my own guidance, which could be totally all wet, and I get that. So, your essence is a service to the world, dear one. Your spirit overflows with joy and happiness, love and wisdom. Do not hoard these energies for yourself. They are meant to be shared. Your essence enhances other people's lives by just being in their presence. There is nothing you have to do, and there is nothing you have to say. It is simply about sharing the energy that authentically radiates from your heart and from your spirit. Your energy is like a spark that activates inspiration and positivity in other people. And that is why you carry this medicine, child, because the world needs this gift, this radiant mirror you hold within you that transmits the message: I see you, I hear you. My power is your power. Look at how powerful you are. Wow. I know that this is meant for the collective because the truth of the matter is, each and every one of us are translators for someone. Things that, and I've already had this experience. There will be things that a being is trying to understand, and they'll come to myself. This has happened to me and Lisa both. Actually, it happened with her dad on more than one occasion. Um, in trying to have a conversation about concepts, especially metaphysical or multidimensional concepts, we'll be trying to explain something, and there's just for whatever reason he couldn't get it. And let's say a couple of weeks go by and he contacts us all excited about some interactions that he's had with this other individual. And through hearing his explanations about those interactions, this other being said basically the exact same information that both of us were saying, but he couldn't get it. He didn't get it from us. But this other being was able to explain it in a way where he totally understood it. And again, for me, that's a puzzle piece to show me that it doesn't have any bearing on me as a person, or her as a person, or this other being as a person, or even him as a person. It has to do with the energetics of the interpreter, right? Everybody has a and I've found that we each have multiple translators. There are concepts that Lisa has tried to explain to me that I just am not understanding in the way that she knows I could understand it and the way she means it. And then I'll go and have conversation with somebody else, and all of a sudden I get it. This happened multiple times when we were having conscious conversations with BZ back in 2017, 2018, 2019. And, that's just the way that goes sometimes. That it has nothing to do with anything other than um, being that the translator for that concept. It was something that, again, a puzzle piece that I finally got to see in a very real way. That happened with my own sister. I used to think that she just wanted me to read to her uh, when it came to Laura Walker's information, the Oracle report. Until later on, I had an experience where another being said, Sheila, I don't know what it is. I can read that for myself and I don't understand it. But if you read it to me, I totally get it. And it was at that point that I started realizing that it has to do with frequency, it has to do with just the way an interpretation is being stated. And so it has nothing to do with anybody is dumb or wrong or anything like that, which is what I originally was feeling, that had something to do with either I wasn't communicating properly or the other person just, they just couldn't get it or whatever. No, it is very much a frequential thing, which is again why I feel like having conscious conversations that may not help anybody at all. But that is certainly not what I've been told by viewers over the years. I've been told multiple times by multiple beings that those conversations were very helpful. Okay, so now we're going to hear from a fairy challenger. And isn't that interesting? Like I said yesterday, we had Luathis the Wild, who had very similar color energy as well. And this is, again, another 5 numerologically. Card 59 works out to be, again, if I'm doing my math correctly, which I believe I am, that's a 14. Yes. So 14 works out to be numerologically a 5. The bodacious bodak. And the key words here are meddling, tampering, sabotage, helpful fixing, and order. The bodak, or old man in Scots Gaelic, means well. He likes to fix things. He drops down chimneys at night and tidies up for you. If you don't have a chimney, he'll find another way in. You left stacks of papers on your desk? He'll file them for you, probably in someone else's desk. No, no one put away the uneaten roast beef? He'll assume you don't want it and give it to the neighbor's dog. He's not the fairy who ties elf locks in your hair and makes bits of it stand out at odd directions while you sleep. That is just a cousin of his. He has far more important work to do. The bodak is a meddler. He will tell you if you catch him that he means well. It's just that things never turn out quite as he expects them to. He feels that you should be grateful for his so-called help, even while you clean the metaphorical eggs off the metaphorical walls, and he is amazed when you are not. Although his feelings are easily hurt by your lack of appreciation, he is persistent. He will just redouble his efforts to be helpful. The only way to discourage him is to tidy up your own loose ends and clutter. I'm sure you know people like the bodak. They helpfully answer your phone and take down the wrong message. Then they lose it and give you a garbled version. Worse yet, they give other people messages from you that are not exactly or even nearly what you said. On the rare occasion that they do pass something on accurately, it is either something you never meant to pass on, or it is said specifically to the wrong person. The bodak also likes to gossip. Sure, I've got the right page there. Yep. The bodak used to steal naughty children, but has evidently decided they are not worth having. However, he does pinch them in their sleep sometimes and gives them nightmares. It is said that one can keep him away by putting salt on the hearth, but don't you believe it, he is like an ant. The only way to really keep him away is to not have anything around that might attract him. Tidy up your clutter, physical, mental, and emotional. Someone somewhere is meddling uninvited in the issue. It may be you, it may be someone else. See if you can work out who it is and begin to untangle the messy web they have woven of confusion and disorder and misunderstanding. So much worse than our own natural disorder. It will take great firmness to get this person to keep his sticky fingers out of your affairs, or you to keep yours out of the affairs of others. The amount of tact you use in sorting this out is up to you, but the bodak type person doesn't usually notice hints. Remember, whoever it is says they mean well. They may even believe that. It is very hard to believe that the bodak's bad results are always, quote, just an accident, as he insists. He may believe this, but we don't have to. The word sabotage comes to mind. If you don't want the Bodak hanging around looking for ways to help, make sure you don't leave things in the wrong place or dangle any loose ends. He might find some bodacious things to do with them. Now, I find this quite interesting given after this card came out. The surrender to setting limits card also came out because these really do go hand in hand. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships, practice expressing your needs, and remember that no is a complete sentence. So it would seem like, uh, again, this is a collective reading, and it is always, there's always something in these readings for me, always, always, always. Oh, Summer. Oh, Summer said, hi, Sheila. I miss these conversations too. I've been feeling a bit isolated because I don't have many in my life who can meet me there. Oh, and she says she'll reach out soon. I'm so glad. Yes, 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 please do, my love, because I am available, ready, and anxious to have conversations. But I have to say that this is very good advice for all of us, to be honest with you. And like I said, it is not lost on me that this card was the first card that came out this morning. And when I grabbed the surrender deck, this one was the first one to pop out. Now, the fact that it came right out after it with surrender to receiving support and love came out tells me that we have all of these energies available to us because if there's a person like this around or you are that person, then yes, setting limits, but also then limiting self because I have myself gone too far with setting limits and then not surrendering to receiving support and love. Because, it's like a pendulum swing, right? And for me, I've absolutely very clearly seen at times where, in order to correct that pendulum swing over there where I didn't set any limits, and I went to the extreme of either me helping somebody or somebody helping me, right? That I swung all the way over past setting limits into turning down or shunning even support and love, right? So it's not lost on me the way those came out together. And I know this one's a little bit longer than I've done recently, but it felt like it was the day for it. And so I'm going to do Rumi last. This next one was the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. And 11, the card number is 11. Breadcrumbs of bliss. Heed your pleasure principle. Wow, that's very interesting that came out in the midst of all of this too. There is a quote here from Joseph Campbell. Follow your bliss and doors will open for you that you never knew existed. Follow your bliss and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. And for me, that is exactly what I mean when I say move towards what brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. That is what I mean by that. Yes, not every moment is a blissful moment, especially if one is being a Bodak or has a Bodak involved, right? However, there's always more than one way to view something or to approach something. And that is what I feel like this is referring to with breadcrumbs of bliss. So, the message of this card is that it is no accident that you are on this planet at this time, in this place, with these people. It's no accident you've been endowed with unique gifts. Your gifts and talents are within you for a purpose. I truly believe that's true. It's not your job to know how your life is meant to unfold. It is only your job to be attuned to the bliss that moves you, guides you, and underlies your every interaction, moment by moment. When you honor your dreams, your inner guidance, and the promptings of your soul, you are rewarded every step of the way with a resurgence of soul juice, aka bliss. This is not a temporary high that leaves you crashed and burned out. The breadcrumbs of bliss will lead you to the best place to be in divine right order. Wow, I do feel like that's true. It's only been, honestly, for me personally, since I've developed that of moving towards that which brings me the highest joy in each moment that presents itself to me, that I honestly feel that resurgence of soul juice, if you will, right? It doesn't mean that everything is all rosy posy every minute because, it's a journey, it's not a destination. And there are 63 full years of programming and conditioning, and quite frankly, trauma to unwind and unbind, to use BZ's terminology again. So there is a dream symbol here, regardless, and it says blissful dreams, regardless of whether they are about winning the lottery, an extraordinary sexual connection, or a sacred communion with God. Blissful dreams reinforce that you are on track with your divine calling and purpose for being alive. You are inherently wired for pleasure. When you are where you are supposed to be, doing what you are supposed to be doing, the bliss button will be turned on. And I cannot tell you the amount of people, myself included, wandering around on the planet. Well, what's my purpose? What am I here to do? And I am convinced that the more you move towards that which brings you joy, that is your purpose. Can you just imagine for a moment what life on this planet would be if everyone was doing what brought them the highest joy? You would never walk into a place to do something and be greeted with a sourpuss. Not once. I mean, just feel into what that actually could and will, in my view, feel like, look like, be. Now, we're all too worried about either what happened in the past or what we got to do over here in the future in order to survive, because that's mostly what everybody's trying to do, right? To even think about what brings the highest joy. Um, so, I mean, what if that thing that brings you the highest joy actually is your purpose? And honestly, that's, even if I'm wrong, conscious conversations bring me joy and bring me bliss. And the amount of people who have told me that our conversations have assisted them tells me that's part of my purpose. I mean, again, right or wrong, that's the way I'm going because it sure brings me a lot of joy. There is a mantra here that says, I follow breadcrumbs of bliss that lead me step by step toward a most fulfilling life. Does that not sound like follow what brings you the highest joy in every moment that presents itself to you? Sure does to me, anyway. Wow, I love that. And the fact that it's the master number of 11 for this card. That's very interesting to me as well. Okay, so our final card is a Rumi Oracle card. And by the way, it too was card number 11, Sacred Convergence, which is part and parcel, I feel like, that shift in the energy that I felt on Sunday night somehow. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, yeah, but you're in pain. And oh, yeah, but okay, well, whatever. To me, I don't, we've been sold this bill of goods along the way about what things are supposed to look like and feel like and be. And the truth of the matter is, I don't think that any of that is absolute. And most of it is again a bill of goods and not exactly altogether correct. And that's just my feel about it. And I'm sure if it's not the correct thing that I will be shown eventually, and I'm okay with that. I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again, and it doesn't matter to me. I don't have there's no shame in my game, let me just say. I'm okay with realizing that I could be wrong about something. Big deal. Who cares? I listen, folks will make opinions and ideas about who I am regardless of how I feel about it. So that's okay. Everybody has the right to their opinion. That's something we've all forgotten on this planet a lot, and everybody has the right to it. What we don't have is the right to shove it down other people's throats, which is why I like the fact that folks can come and go here. Nobody's holding anybody hostage. One of the things that I definitely promised myself moving forward, there will be no hostages on my journey. Want to come alongside and go? Hey, let's go. But there will be no hostages. Nope, I've been there, done that, not going to do that again. So, sacred convergence. And boy, ain't that a multi-dimensional card if I ever saw one. I mean, look at all the beings surrounding all that, those multiple dimensions and densities there. Whew, that's a deep multi-dimensional card right there. Roaming about town, the master was holding a light, saying, I am weary of the demons and the beasts. A human is what I'm longing for. The human cannot be found. We have searched. What cannot be found is what I'm longing for. Although poor and needy, I will not accept small pieces of ruby. The mine of the finest rubies is what I am longing for. One hand holding a cup of wine, and the other the curls of the beloved. A dance like this in the middle of the circle is what I am longing for. Rumi. How I have longed for you, my very own. Look no further, for the family beyond your family, the relationship beyond all other relationships, the great love that unveils all other loves to be mere reflections of the one great and true love is here for you now. It is I who has sought you through the stirrings of your own heart. Yes, 'twas I, hidden beneath every secret, yearning for something more, something full, something special, something all encompassing. Beyond every yearning, always I have hidden. Now I show myself to you, that you may become so filled with the same passionate devotion that I hold for you that your mind will fall away, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of love, tossed into an ocean of silent, unending bliss. Come to me. We are to be one now in sacred convergence of silent, eternal passion. Wow. Now, for those of you that have not don't know me all that well, all of this is messages to me from me. And I feel this on a very deep level. Wow. The first time I realized that my larger self, my soul, if you will, my heart based consciousness was actually ruling my ego. That was a very humbling moment, as is this one right here. Sacred convergence indicates a coming together of souls in alignment with a greater cause. This greater cause is both personal and impersonal. There is an aspect of joining together for common purpose, although that purpose may not be immediately obvious at a level of day to day consciousness. You know, Lisa and I are very clear that that is partly why we were drawn together, is exactly what this is saying right here. That common soul purpose may be to lift each other into greater love and self belief, to shed fear and open the heart, filling each individual soul with more holy fire for its personal, passionate purpose. Wow. You'll have a sense when this process is happening. There will be a coming together of you with like minded souls who hail from all walks of life, and yet together, through some invisible genius, you will help each other. And I'm very clear that's what's happened for me and Lisa. Very clear. And so grateful because it has permeated and then radiated outward. You may simply be dancing in the same room or singing in a group, attending a class or workshop, or just visiting the same beach or parkland. But at that moment, there will be a sense of something coherent and nourishing happening at a far greater level. The quote, trickle down effect into your personal life will be felt too. You'll have more energy after spending time with these people, even if you don't interact very much on a personal level beyond being in the same space. That too took me a little while to really understand. You'll feel empowered to step forward on your path and love yourself with less conditions. You'll become freer to shed your fears. Let go of relationships based in fear and judgment and open up to those more loving, responsive, and inspiring to continue on your personal journey in increasingly profound ways. I know that's to be true because it's happened for me. This oracle has come to you because you are part of a greater sacred convergence happening now. Perhaps you have already sensed its progression, Or perhaps it will not be obvious to you, but the effect, whether obvious or subtle, will be important to your soul development and divine awakening. You are being asked to drop defenses and barriers towards groups of people that feel good for you. However, those that dampen your spirits or drag you down are to be dispensed with, no matter what games of blame or manipulation they may play to keep you coming back for more. No, that shall not do for your soul growth now. Just step away. Turn towards those connections that feel nourishing to your soul and learn to share yourself without fear. Just be. You do not have to force the planets to spin, nor the great cycles of the soul to happen. All that is required is that you show up for what is offered to you now. Do your part. Take your steps, dance, sing, and be, and allow the gifts of sacred connection to change your world. For this is the spiritual gift presented to you now. This oracle comes with a special message. Perhaps you have been thinking about shedding lower vibrational connections based in the ego world of power games, sabotage, manipulation, and fear. Perhaps you have already begun this process or even shed so many you are fearing that you might have, quote, over pruned to be left with nothing and no one. Do not fear, my feisty angel of love. Your truth is prevailing. You cannot stay in a vibration of fear if you want to dwell in a vibration of love. Now, that's a true statement. I don't care what is going on. Whilst you learn to sustain that vibration within you until it cannot be rattled by any crisis or demand, you are wise to place yourself in more nourishing connections. If you want to plant a plant to grow, why not give it the best soil and conditions in which to do so? Certainly, the plant of love can and will grow in most inhospitable conditions, but it can be rather more joyful to grow in gentler, more nourishing conditions, if possible. This oracle comes to you with guidance that the possibility for more joyful relationships and growth of love within is in your power. You can choose each day, each moment. Just make a choice. Trust yourself, your discernment, and your intuition, and choose. You do not owe anyone anything. Repeat this law of karma. You only owe love the chance to grow. So let that be your guiding principle now as you release the old and trust that even if your garden of relationship becomes sparse for a while, you have been cutting back unhealthy plants to allow for new life to flourish. It is only a matter of timing for the season of new life and growth to come again. And so it shall, bringing with it sacred convergence of souls on the path of love, your soul tribe, your soul family, your new tribe of those journeying upon the path of love. Wow! Oh my God, what a reading today. What a blessing of a reading today. And I know it's been a longer one, but I think it's been necessary. I feel that for me, at least, it was absolutely required to see this reading today. Wow. Well, I would certainly love to hear from any of you who were in and out of this one live or who will find it at a time that is more appropriate for you. As always, I feel that if you do tune in, then there is absolutely something here for you. And I would love to hear from you as to what you felt or feel about this, either in the comments, even if you weren't here live, and or personally. So I hope this reading was helpful for you. Boy, it sure was for me. And I absolutely would love to hear from any and all who would like to have those conversations. I know I've been feeling for some time that it is more than time for Conscious Conversation Central to really come back. And again, that's my desire, and I know that others would like for that to happen too. So I hope that you will move towards that which brings you the highest joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It really is a matter of your perspective and your perception of that perspective. And if it's not a joyous situation, allow yourself a few moments and ask yourself a few questions. I think you will find that if I allow myself to step back and maybe out of the position I'm in and try to look at it from a different angle, I can find something that is a little bit more joyous um, than what I might be looking at that moment. I love you guys all so very, very much. I am looking forward to having another intuitive hangout session, and I cannot tell you when. The way these energies have been, I won't do that to myself anymore because I always feel so bad when I've told you I'm coming and then I can't show up. So if you want to participate in something like that, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and that you have hit the notification bell so that you'll be in the know when I go live. Until we meet again, I hope that you will be well, my friends. Mwah.